Since the dawn of time, man has measured himself through strength, speed, endurance, and a need to compete with other men. Apparently, naked wrestling with their tiny floppers dangling about was tops on the list of cool things to do back then. With great competition comes great reward. The ancient Mayans played a game called Pactapac. The winners of this contest were treated as heroes and given a mighty feast.
Yay!
The losers? Well, they were usually killed and had their hearts ripped out of their bodies.
Ooh.
Ouch. Today, the games are not as severe in their consequences, but in athletic competition, there will always be the thrill of victory.
Yay!
And the agony of defeat. On the holy ground now known as Arizona, a highly developed, evolved race of humans have upped the ante in organized competition. Taking the strengths and traits of the modern man, a small group of progressive foreseers have gathered to take the idea of competition to a new level. This band of athletic prophets has gathered to participate in the UN of Evil Olympic Games of 2019. Those are the correct Roman numerals, I swear. I googled that shit. Preparation. As any pro athlete knows, the pre-game preparation is key to any victory. The participants of the UN of Evil Olympics, locked away together in a state-of-the-art training facility, learn to live and train together in the spirit of brotherhood. Once some preliminary decisions were made, like which cinematic version of the Incredible Hulk was the best, the real training began. First, there was the mandatory visit to a taco restaurant. Then, a separate trip to a sports bar to eat food on a stick, try to impersonate a competitor's facial expression, and taking part in the ritual of drinking grown man beverages, such as the old-fashioned. Some athletes were accustomed to this type of training. Others had to adjust. But in the end, the group acted as a team. Some of the men's meals were home-cooked by the crack staff of sports nutrition chefs. Take this healthy meal of meat, more meat, and some Dorito-encrusted salmon. Yummy! Then came the obligatory ballpark visit to watch some spring training baseball. The usual activities took place, like the drunken wandering of the grass bleachers and the get hit in the head by a foul ball contest held down the third base line. A great time was had by all. As the beginning of the official games drew closer, the contestants broke off on their own to prepare in many different ways. Some did dry runs of the upcoming events, some lounged casually by the pool, others stood majestically perched, alone with their thoughts. For all would be tested shortly, as the games were about to begin. Let the 2019 UN of Evil Olympics begin! Here are your contestants! Often stops before he gets enough. Once ate all the game pieces from a Monopoly game. Bought Evel Knievel's jockstrap on eBay. From Chicago, Illinois. The skin-peeling, card-dealing, soul-stealing man about town. Whoa! Claims his ancestors were often slaughtered for their pelts, installed a fence around his grandma, enjoys pointy sticks and polio. From Stooleyville, Michigan, the flavor of Mib, Doozy. Was once verbally abused by a wayward accountant, has been to Spain and heaven, and thinks they both suck. Pleasures himself to reruns of Bonanza from Eviltown, Colorado, the destroyer of the nubile honeypot, The Den. exclusively by Somersault. Sold his left big toe to a gypsy. Thinks pandas are jungle penguins. From Los Angeles, California, the talent, Schmitty. Was baptized in a puddle of thawed steak juice. Once sat in with the animatronic band at Chuck E. Cheese. Airbrushes only his neck for Facebook selfies. From Chicago, Illinois, he's your Huckleberry, your Renaissance man-child and pirate gangster of love, the Mexican. Thinks the Dalai Lama is a dick. Never blamed it on the boogie cause he ain't no bitch. Carries a handgun whenever he goes to hometown bakeries. From Bullet Wound, Arizona, the breaker of the divine wind, Hawk. Played goalie in an all lactose intolerant hockey league. His snoring once killed a dog. He once ate an entire mop. From Snoresburg, Arizona, the meat grillin' chap who needs a CPAP.
It's all about making that GTA.
And finally, his suitcases are made from the skins of murdered lumberjacks. His spirit animal is a shoe. Hates the song China Grove cause he's a big old racist. From Chicago, Illinois, the unbluffable, unlosable usurper of pizza and beer, the big guy. The events. The UN of Evil Olympics are a heptathlon, named so after the Hindu god Ganesha, who was known to have 7 hips, but 1 poop hole. Here is a recap from each of the 7 events. The NCAA basketball tournament. After the disappointment of seeing the awful state of the outdoor theater TV setup, the athletes retired to watch the tourney indoors. Unfortunately, no press credentials were issued, and there was much rejoicing. Yay. Winners were determined by the results of the first round. Here are your medal winners in the NCAA basketball tourney. The bronze goes to E. The silver goes to the Mexican. And the gold tombstone goes to Woj. Poker Tournament. Playing this newfangled game called Texas Hold'em, the participants battled fiercely through the night. Even the Mexican, who doesn't know crap about playing cards or shuffling, held his own. All poker dreams were eventually shattered when everyone realized the true power of unbluffability the big guy possesses. Here are your medal winners in the Texas Hold'em tournament. Bronze went to the Den. The silver, the Mexican. And the gold tombstone goes to the big guy. And there was much rejoicing. Yay. Cornhole. Some folks in this great land of ours have a different definition of what cornhole means. This could be the reason that initially so many athletes showed up with no pants on. After retrieving the bag Schmitty launched into the house gutters, the battle began. Let's go to the highlights. E-Man getting ready. He makes his toss. His bag lands on the wooden thing. Now Dennis will... His bag lands on the wooden thing. E must go again. His bag... It's in the hole! It went through the hole! Dennis misses the thing entirely, and that's why he loses. And here are the cornhole medal winners. The bronze goes to E. The silver, Woj. And the gold tombstone goes to the Den. Hoops. Everyone has at one time played the beloved basketball game horse. The UN of Evil is no exception. However, They altered the four-letter winning word to fit their style, and decorum prevents us from mentioning these words here. Yay. There were many fierce battles, and some of the winners were the epitome of modesty and class. Others postured around like horny ponies. It appears the Mexican has won some sort of contest. Well, oh, that's unnecessary. You don't need to do that, friend. You're better than that. I tell you, I don't think there's any room for this in sports. When the dust settled, the medal winners were the bronze to the Mexican, the silver to Schmitty, and the gold tombstone went to the big guy. Billiards. The game was 8-ball. Unfortunately, once again, no press credentials were issued and this game was played without press coverage, and there was much rejoicing. Yay! So, we shall take this opportunity to look at what may be the weirdest image ever found on the internet. I have no idea what's going on here or how that woman got in to the billiard parlor, but okay, the medal winners in 8-ball were... The bronze was taken home by E. The silver went to the Mexican. And the gold tombstone goes to Schmitty. Ping pong. Or it could be pronounced ping pong. The classic game of skill and coordination, so unimpressive to play that even a numbskull like Forrest Gump could dominate at it. Invented by crazed Chinese opium-addicted lawyers, it was the true test of the athlete's abilities. For some, the game came quite easily. Their talented athletes' eyes seeing every nuance of the fast-paced game. Others stood around cluelessly as the ball rocketed past their skulls. Check out this furious action. Jimmy Ritter. What the? Riveting. The final body count? The bronze to Doolsey, the silver to Woj. And the gold goes once again to the big guy. And there was much rejoicing. Yay. Putting! The UN of Evil hit the putting greens to see who could dominate at a horrific version of the basketball game horse. The sheer epicness and momentous possibility of this contest being performed by this group of demigods was enough to tilt the flat earth a little to the right. What started during the day soon escalated deep into the night. Winning a match proved very difficult, as each duffer topped the other in creativity. Props, avant-garde stances, and overall death-defying approaches were implemented. Not to be forgotten was the lost art of the golf heckler. Here are some highlights. Dennis is lining up for his shot, which is called Poetry in Motion. He puts the putt in play, chases after it, and knocks it in easily. Nice. It's his shot. He knows what he's doing. Uh-oh, the Mexican must try to do it. The ball's off. It's a little fast. It's way past the hole. It's in the hole. It's in the hole. Remarkable. The Ak, angry as ever. Pretty mad he has to even try to do this, but he will. Oh, there's it. Very easily done. Wow. That's athleticism. Okay, here's Schmitty. Needs to stay alive, but beware, there are propane tanks at the back of the wall. The shot is off. It's a little strong. Look out! Oh, crisis averted. Schmitty about to attempt Poetry in Motion. Here we go. The shot is off a little fast. There goes Schmitty. Look out. Oh, Jesus. Hey, Kool-Aid. Schmitty's bringing summer fun. When everyone's balls were sunk, the medal winners were bronze, Woj. The silver went to Ak. And the gold goes to Doolsey. And there was much rejoicing. Not quite as much rejoicing as earlier, for it was late and they were waiting for a pizza. Yay! And this would bring the 2019 UN of Evil Olympic Games to an end. There were many cheers, tears, and beers. But in any true competition, there can only be one champion. So without further ado, the UN of Evil Olympic Games of 2019 overall medal winners. Taking home the bronze tombstone, the Mexican. though he relishes in hermit-like anti-socialistic behavior at all times, when the starting gun went off, he stepped up and proved to be the idiot savant of the group by placing in enough events to accumulate the necessary points in overall competition, despite just learning how to play Texas Hold'em 5 minutes before the tournament began. Once he learns to shuffle a deck of cards, he will be a force to be reckoned with in next year's games. And in an unprecedented result, well, not really, because this is the first time they've ever done this dumb thing, there was a tie for the overall Tombstone Gold. The overall Tombstone Gold medal winners were Woj and the Big Guy. The two combatants battled fiercely all through the games, Woj placing in 4 of the 7 events, Big Guy taking the gold in the only 3 events he placed in. Big Guy surprisingly taking the gold in Pong, and Woj sneaking in at the last minute in the NCAA tournament. Big Guy's unbluffable win at all cost attitude dominated the poker tourney. Woj's successful stealing of some rival souls in the practice poker tournament gave him the proper momentum to dominate. In the end, a sole winner could not be awarded. These two accomplished athletes may be at the beginning of a lifelong rivalry. No one knows what the future holds. Congratulations to all the participants, and may the gold tombstone come to represent the highest award in athletic history. Long live the UN of Evil Olympic Games!